So today's episode is going to be a little bit different. It's not going to be a review, it's not going to be any news or anything like that. I really just want to make the case for how dope Tokyo Drift is. Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift. This is a movie that was technically never ever going to get made. Originally the script had a lot of drifting around big Buddha statues and geishas, which is definitely not dope at all, not cool on any level. It's really just a cheesy factor, a lot of cheese going in that movie. But the director, the guy who got a hold of it, Justin Lin, he was like, yo, let me change it, let me make a couple of edits, let me rewrite a lot of, we ended up rewriting a lot of the script. And the reason he did that is because he didn't like the direction that it was going in, and nor should he, right? I mean, the direction that they had it scheduled to be was totally garbage. So let's break down some history. So originally, Fast and Furious, the movie comes out, it does amazing, does awesome. Does so well indeed that now Vin Diesel has got a giant, huge head, and he's like, no, I'm not doing the sequel unless you guys give me some extra money. And the studio, unfortunately, didn't have the funds to pay him what he wanted to get paid. So he drops out. So the studio can't afford Vin Diesel anymore, and they still want to make Fast and Furious movies because the crowd is loving it, the audience is loving it. And so they reach out to Paul Walker. Paul Walker's like, of course I'll do the second movie. I love driving. He really was hands-on in the second movie, had a lot of input in it, and it was awesome. It turned out really great, but franchise-wise, as far as money-wise, it didn't do what the studio wanted it to do. It didn't make as much money as they thought it was going to make. So, fast forward a couple more years, go by, and they're like, yo, we want to make a third one. The studio wanted to make a third one. They had a director lined up for the third one after the second movie came out, but the second movie didn't make as much money as they wanted to make. And in the world of Hollywood, money is king. So, if the movie doesn't make the kind of money that the studio wants it to make, the likelihood of a sequel is very slim and none. Looking at you, Dredd. Unfortunately, we'll never see a Dredd sequel because of the fact that it just didn't make what it should have made, and that was, a lot of it was bad marketing. It honestly was terrible, terrible marketing for that movie, but I digress. Let's get back into Fast and Furious. So Fast and Furious 3, script comes along, director's already there. Justin Lin, who just did his first movie called Better Luck Tomorrow, it starred Soo Kang, who is Han in the third Fast and Furious movie. They let him take over the reins and said, look, make it cheap. They didn't really have a lot of faith in Justin Lin, and they wanted that movie just to go straight to DVD, just get it out there, keep it going, we'll figure it out later. So what makes Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift so dope? Well, number one, Soo Kang. He plays Han so dope. Han is just cool without having to try to be cool, right? He doesn't have anything that Dominic's character has or anything that Brian's character has. He's just a super cool, chill dude. Like, he's not trying to be overly beastly like Dom is, and he's not in law enforcement or anything like Brian is. So really, he's just a cool, super cool dude. And I love it, man. He really does shine as far as the Fast and Furious franchise goes. Like, anything that he does in the movie, he does it for a purpose. He's not just there to fill up the screen. He's an amazing driver. He's actually smart, and he can handle a weapon. So, like, he is an outlaw by all sense of the word. One of the things that I really love about Tokyo Drift is the driving element. Like, there is no other Fast and Furious movie that focuses this much on the driving element. The very first Fast and Furious movie is literally like a Point Break remake. And that's fine, it works, it's awesome, it's amazing. The second one is also kind of a story of like a crime type of story. So it's not really about racing. It uses racing per se to get to the end of the finish line, if you will. But it's a crime story, right? They're after a drug boss. But Tokyo Drift, it is a totally different element. It is straight up just about racing. About racing, being a senior in high school, getting ready for life, getting ready for the world, and learning all these different elements. But being able to see the actual racing. Like, ever since Tokyo Drift came out, none of the other movies have really been focused on racing. The cars are just kind of backdrops. They're just kind of nice to have in the actual movie to get to wherever they're trying to go, right? And get there as fast as possible. And that's awesome. There's nothing wrong with that. The movies have evolved since, from street racing to be heist movies to be mob movies to be tech. It doesn't matter. The movies are awesome. And they're great popcorn films. They're not anything like gonna be, oh my god, this was so groundbreaking, this was amazing. But the cars really are not the focus anymore. But in Tokyo Drift, the cars are absolutely the focus. In fact, that's like a big element, is trying to get these skills to drift. Han and Sean, being able to see their dynamic between the two of them, it really does have this Dom and Brian type of feel. But to me, even better, right? Because Han takes Sean underneath his wing and kind of ushers him in and just kind of shows him the world. I love that Han has no problem taking in Sean. Like, he's just a super cool dude. Like, in my life, I can say I've probably met like 2 or 3 cats that were just like super cool, and it didn't matter. Like, literally, like, one of the things that Han says to Sean is like, you know, it doesn't matter. You know, none of these things matter. The only thing that matters to me really is to be able to see a man's worth. And it's really trust and character that I need around me. And none of that stuff matters. Like, none of the money, none of anything matters. Like, just being able to hear those words from a guy like Han, man, it really is awesome. So now that I'm done with my Han rant, and I do apologize, but I love me some Han. He's like the dopest dude of all time, man. He just really is that dude. Especially, and I gotta say this out there, but there is that one part where in the movie Sean asks Han, he's like, so if you're not doing this for money, like, what are you doing it for? And Han goes back like, he's like, you really want to know? Let me show you. And they get in the car and they run into some girls. And if you as a guy and your homeboy have not rolled up on a car with a bunch of really nice looking ladies, then you're missing out on one of the best parts of life. Because being able to be in a car with your friend, and a super cool car, by the way, not like some station wagon or your grandma's van or something like that. And that's not a shot, right? Because I've definitely been the guy that drove the van one time, a few times. But if you've never experienced that, like never pulled up on a couple of really nice looking girls, and you and your boy are rolling up a really cool car, and you look over and there's some nice girls, if you've never ever tried to impress them with the car, you have not lived life. Like, life is in those moments. Like, I don't care what anybody says, and I'm not going to put anybody's business out there, but I have a really good friend whose name rhymes with, nah, I'm not going to put him out there. But we have ourselves rolled up on some girls, either in his car or my car, and man, it's just a dude moment. Like, I can't explain it to you ladies. I'm sure you've got this moment handed to you. But even in that moment, you know, he just shows off just like, this is why I do it. It's not because of the money. It's not because I need to race or anything like that. I'm a good driver. I'm an amazing driver. I'm a dope driver. I don't need to show off in front of anybody. Except for these ladies. Those moments, especially for me, because like I was like a senior in high school at this time when this movie came out. So being able to see like really cool moments like that, man, it is so awesome. I love this movie. As you can tell, I definitely love this movie. And if you're going to have a Fast and Furious franchise marathon, do not skip out on Tokyo Drift. You're robbing yourself. And the last and final thing that I want to say about this movie is that, I mean, it really does still have that family-centric element, which is something that all of the Fast and Furious movies have. No matter what, there's always still a family-centric element. And I haven't seen Fate of the Furious yet. I will see it tomorrow, so I'll let you guys know if it's any good or if it's not. But there's always been a family element in all the movies, and even in this movie, where there are no characters that were from the first 2 movies, and they're not even really characters that ever show up ever again, except for Sean later on. The movie's still great. The movie still has that relatability. Like, these dudes are here taking care of each other. Like, they always say friends are the family that you get to pick. I know that sounds like kind of cheesy or kind of corny, but it's the truth, man. Like, as a guy that moved away from everything he knew and loved into a city where I didn't really know anybody but like one person, man, being able to make friends and have like Friendsgiving, like where you go over for Thanksgiving and Christmas because you can't go all the way back home or anything like that, like, those things are amazing, man. Those types of friends, those are the friends that you want to hang on to for the rest of your life. And for me personally, I have, you know, all of my friends that I have out there, I'm still friends with, still talk to on a weekly basis, not daily anymore, unfortunately, but you know, I still check in from time to time. And so there's all of this element in this Tokyo Drift movie, and I gotta say, it's definitely one of my favorite movies. The only other movie that I like just the same is probably gonna be Fast 5. Like, I really love Fast 5. That movie's incredible. All of the movies are really awesome. The best scene in a movie from the Fast and Furious franchise, to me, personally, alright, is gonna be when Paul Walker, when he gets the call, they're like, hey, it's going down, I need you in like 5 minutes. He jumps in the car, he jumps in the skyline, neon blue everywhere, and he's gunning it. dopest scene like of all time. Like I love that scene. Like there is no better scene to me as far as like a car movie goes. That movie, and then when he shows up like a boss, like just blowing out the air tanks. Like, good God, man, he could do no wrong. Paul Walker, we miss you. May you rest in peace. Anyways, guys, so I just kind of wanted to throw some love towards Tokyo Drift. I know a lot of people give Tokyo Drift some shade because Paul Walker's not in it, Dominic Toretto or Vin Diesel's not in it. None of them cats are in it. Ludacris is not in it. But that movie's awesome, man. They made that movie for the cheap. They also made the movie when nobody else had any faith in that movie. And it carried the franchise over when everybody else was just too money hungry to care. So, Tokyo Drift, an amazing movie. You should definitely watch it. If you personally skipped over the movie, you should absolutely watch it because this movie is worth watching. This movie is worth buying. Like, if you don't have the opportunity to watch it on Netflix, I believe it's on Netflix. If you don't have the opportunity to watch it on Netflix, ask somebody for their login password. Alright, it's 2017. Nobody cares. If not, pick it up. It's an amazing movie. You could do no wrong. You could do no worse. Alright? My name is Chris Vargas and I'm out. Peace. Oh yeah, one last thing. That car, Han's car, the RX-7, the orange and black one, my God, that car is amazing. It is insanely gorgeous. And I mean insanely gorgeous.